Hey, lady, how we doing? Good to see you. Of course, I can't see you. Address a couple of things first. So, there were a lot of parables in the New Testament, and these were just stories. They may or may not have been true, but they're portrayed as being true because they teach us a lesson. And so, when I refer to Mark 4:38, when you read that, and if you maybe to put it into context, it's the parable where they're on the ship, they're out at sea, and suddenly, just abruptly, here comes the storm. The wind picks up. The ship starts to get tossed. There's waves everywhere. There's lightning. It's very frightening if you're on a tiny little ship out in the Sea of Galilee and you got these great big thunderstorms coming in. The waves get really, really, really big. So it's not quite such just a little deal. We're not talking about children here. We're talking about men. We're talking about men who are frightened of a storm. With good reason. It could sink them. It could kill them. They could be washed overboard. This is a life or death situation. And they need help. They need protection. And so they turn to Jesus. Where's Jesus? He's downstairs asleep. Why? Because he's not worried. He has that faith in something outside of him. He has that faith in God. He has that faith that he knows that everything's going to be okay. He's calm. He's got the peace of Jesus. I'm sorry. Well, that is the peace of Jesus, but he's got the peace of God. And again, I'm not a preacher, and I'll leave the F word out. I'm sorry, dear. It's my fault. But we talk about, and this plays right into my hands when we talk about healing ourselves, because we are godlike. We are God's children. Man will teach you that you have a mind. That's where psychiatrists work on us, psychologists and counselors. And we have a physical body. Surgeons are awesome. They can cut us up and stitch us back together. They're amazing. They can heal us in so many ways. But let me ask you a question. Who makes your heart beat? Who makes your organs digest your food? Who makes your liver decide to keep this, burn this, store this? What makes your kidneys decide this is good, this goes out? How do your cells know when to divide? Not his cells, your cells, inside of your body. Doctors won't talk about this for good reason. Doctors only know the mind and the body, the physical body. But if you go back 10,000 years, 20,000 years, how did people heal without doctors? We had our medicine men and our shaman and these people. What did they know that we don't know today? And what they know is that we're not a twofold, but a fourfold creation. If you take a drop of water out of the ocean, it still has all of the essence of the ocean. If you take a piece of God out of God, it still has all of the essence of God. And if you take that and put it into a physical body, are you with me? You are God-like, and you possess all of the essence of God. You just don't know how to tap into all of it. So, where was I? This is a long video for you. That's okay. So, the men were scared to death and they're running around. And where's Jesus? He's asleep down in the hold. Down, that means below the deck. He wasn't even worried about nothing. I'm here for the ride. I'm along for the ride. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I worked all day. I was turning fish, feeding, turning loaves of bread into, whatever, turning water into wine. He's probably performing miracles. What was he doing? I don't recall prior to that. You can read it. My point is, he was exhausted. He was tired. Well, God's got this. I'm going to take a nap. And then the men are like, what are you doing? All right. So if you insist, and he goes up and he shows them the only way he could rebuke the storm is through the power that he had within him that was already there. So I'm going to tie this in. Back to what makes your cells divide? When do they know to divide? What makes you regulate your body temperature, your blood pressure? How do you know when it's good or not? There is a concept by our ancients, and it's throughout cultures all across until you get to modern man. And almost all of the cultures describe a fourfold human being. And so we have this thing, it's called the life force. And that's what does all that stuff I'm describing of that it's subconscious almost. We're not even aware of it. They call that your avatar. It's got different names. The astral body. You may have heard of astral projection, the astral body. Different cultures call it a different thing, but they all are aware of it and call it something until you get to modern times. It's something that's neglected because they don't understand it. It's not taught in the schools, so they don't even address it whatsoever. Modern physicians will only look at the mind and the physical body. So, what happens if you neglect another part? Well, that might actually be one of the things that's contributing to your demise. And failure to address it may result in failure to heal properly because you will have failure to achieve harmony. Again, we seek to teach. We want to teach you the things that are missing from your understanding of what's going on with you so that you know how to specifically address the issues that you want to address. So, Barry, where are we going with this? We talk about the body being fourfold. I told you, right? So we have the ego. That's I, the I am. That's the me. That's the you that I can't say I. Okay, that's the ego. We have the avatar, and that's just this life force energy that you were given at birth, and it sustains you until you die, and it's with you until you die. And it performs a lot of functions in the body below the surface, subconsciously. And then the other two that we've already discussed. I'm going to repeat things over and over again to help you understand and help drive the point home. So those were the two things I wanted to mainly focus on for you. And you said the verses. So Ecclesiastes 1:14, meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Everything is meaningless, a chasing after the wind. And to me, that's a way to gain power, because if nothing matters, then everything matters. Nothing really too far outside of you really matters. Nobody cares. Why do you take yourself so seriously? Nobody else does. So, what do? We go inward. What's inward? Is there God within us? Is there not that promise? Well, what's that promise? You ever heard of the Holy Spirit? The Trinity. Wait a minute. What are we talking about here? I said we were godlike, right? God has his ego, his I am. But God also has the physical body in Jesus. He has that energy, which is the Holy Spirit, which operates below our perception. Okay. Does that help? I hope it does. Happy Easter. 11 minutes is enough. I'll conclude. I'll make you another video and we'll keep going. Let me know if you like this. I love you. Bye-bye.